Welcome, everyone. One of the best ways to prepare for the IELTS speaking test is to see it in action. That's exactly what we're doing today with this complete mock test from Spinta. As you listen, think about what the candidate does well and where they could improve. Afterwards, we'll compare notes with a full performance breakdown. Let's begin.
Good morning. Can you tell me your full name, please?
Good morning. My full name is EmilyGreen, but you can call me Emily. I am originally from a small coastal town, although I live and work now in the city for most of the year.
Thank you. Where do you live at the moment?
At the moment I live in a mid-sized apartment close to my office. I moved here 3 years ago because it was easier to commute. The flat is small but bright and there are parks nearby, which makes my weekends quite pleasant.
Do you like your neighborhood?
Yes, I do. I enjoy the cafes and the community atmosphere. There are many young professionals and families and it feels safe. The only downside is that the rent is a bit high, but overall I would say the convenience outweighs that.
What work do you do?
I work as a project manager for a technology consultancy. My role involves coordinating teams, setting timelines, and making sure clients are satisfied. I have been working here since 3 years, and the job is demanding but rewarding.
Do you enjoy your job?
Generally, yes. I enjoy the problem solving and the chance to work with different people. Sometimes it can be stressful when deadlines converge, but I appreciate the variety and the opportunity to learn new tools and methodologies.
Let's talk about leisure. What do you do in your free time?
I like reading and going to the cinema. I prefer watch films at home on weekends because it is more relaxed and I can pause if needed. I also go running a few times a week, which helps me clear my head after a busy day.
Have your free time activities changed recently?
They have a bit. Before the pandemic, I traveled more for weekend trips, but recently I spend more time on hobbies at home and exploring local places. I still try to keep a balance between relaxation and activity.
Let's move on to the next part. Here is a topic for you to speak about. You have 1 minute to prepare, and then please speak for about 2 minutes. Your topic is, describe a memorable meal you had. You should say what the meal was, who you were with, where it took place, and explain why it was memorable. You have 1 minute to prepare.
Okay, thank you. One memorable meal that stands out was a birthday dinner my parents arranged when I turned 30. It took place at a small family-run restaurant by the harbor where I grew up. I was there with my parents, my sister, and a few close friends from childhood. The meal started with a selection of fresh seafood, local bread, and a vegetable stew that tasted like home. For the main course, I had a grilled fish that had been caught that morning, seasoned simply but perfectly. We shared stories and old photographs, and there was an informal speech from my sister that made everyone laugh and cry a little. What made it memorable was not only the food but the atmosphere. The harbor was lit with string lights, and we could hear the tide and distant chatter. It felt like the whole town was supporting the celebration. Also, it marked a moment when I realized how important those roots are, how food can connect you to people and place. I still think about that evening when I want a reminder of home, and I try to replicate some of the recipes now when I cook for friends.
Right. Why was the location important to you?
The harbor is where I grew up spending summers and weekends, so being there brought back a lot of memories. It tied the celebration to my personal history and made the event feel intimate and genuine rather than just a party.
Interesting. Let's move on to more abstract questions. Why do people enjoy eating out these days?
People eat out for many reasons. For some it's convenience, for others it's an experience. Restaurants offer a chance to try different cuisines and socialize without the hassle of cooking and cleaning. In urban environments, dining out is also a way to relax and mark special occasions. Additionally, food culture has become part of lifestyle identity, so people dine out to explore trends and share experiences on social media.
Do you think traditional home cooking is disappearing?
I do not think it is disappearing entirely, but it is changing. While fewer people cook elaborate meals every day, many families still maintain signature dishes for weekends or celebrations. Technology and busy schedules push quick solutions, yet there is also a counter-trend where people value slow food, preserving recipes, and learning cooking as a hobby.
What role does food play in bringing communities together?
Food is fundamental to community. Shared meals create opportunities for conversation and cultural exchange. Festivals and markets centered around food attract people from different backgrounds, allowing traditions to be showcased and understood. Even small neighborhood gatherings around food can help form bonds and a sense of belonging.
How has globalization affected local food traditions?
Globalization has introduced new ingredients and techniques, which can enrich local cuisine. However, it also poses the risk that local dishes become hybridized or commercialized, losing authenticity. The balance is that many communities adapt foreign influences while consciously preserving core traditional elements.
One last question. Do you think people will cook less in the future?
I think everyday cooking might decline as convenience grows, but interest in cooking as a skill will remain or even grow. People may cook less frequently, yet when they do, they will choose quality and meaningful recipes. Also, education and media promoting cooking may encourage a renewed appreciation for making meals from scratch.
Thank you. That is the end of the speaking test.
The candidate demonstrated Band 8 level performance. Notable errors included saying "I have been working here since 3 years" when the more accurate form is "I have been working here for 3 years," and saying "I prefer watch films at home" when it should be "I prefer watching films at home." There was also a minor comparative slip saying it was more easier instead of it was easier. These slips were occasional and did not hinder communication. Fluency was smooth with natural discourse markers. There were a few brief hesitations, and one self-correction where she said "sorry, I mean" before clarifying a point. Vocabulary was wide and precise, with choices like coordinating teams, methodologies, and commercialized that were appropriate and natural. Grammatically, she used complex structures accurately most of the time. For example, discussing how globalization introduced new ingredients, though complex conditionals showed brief lapses. This performance earns Band 8 because communication was coherent and flexible, pronunciation and rhythm were clear, and only infrequent slips occurred in complex structures. To reach a higher band, she would need near-perfect control of advanced grammar in every turn, and avoid the few recurring preposition and gerund errors. Thank you for practicing with this IELTS speaking mock test. Visit Spinta for more comprehensive mock tests and personalized feedback to boost your IELTS score.